Hello everybody. For a second there, I almost forgot to do the daily roundup. I was about to get into the trades. Um, just to remind you, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And please just remember that these are high risk funds and they may not be for everyone. A couple of things to start with. We have a couple of new tickers and one returning. So Altimmune has come back to us. EH, which is E-Hang Holdings. And then if we scroll over, that's Aerospace and Defense Industry. And then if we go down here a little bit, we have VRT, Vertiv Holdings, which I'm probably saying wrong, with the electrical equipment and parts. So I have some new ones to try to remember. It's probably going to take me a minute to remember what those are. So I wanted to go over that real quick, and then I guess give you a little update on where we're going with this. And then if you watch both videos, I'm sorry, you're going to hear myself repeat. But so yesterday I had noticed, the trades weren't posted for the day, so I'd reached out to Jay to let him know. And then last night when I saw the holdings post, I sent him a screenshot and let him know, that the holdings was messed up. And then, of course, I don't think I got to finish my stuff until 5 o'clock this morning. So when he emailed me, I was asleep, but that was at like 7:30. Obviously he let me know there's lots of position movements, which we know because it was Monday, right? And that's when they do their game plan for the week. But he also let me know that they moved back to the synthetic positions due to some their broker reasons. And I guess because of that, or for whatever reason, the positions were not reflecting correctly. So then he let me know that they would be working with the custodian to rectify the issue. So then, hence, then we ran into where it was closed today, or it was halted for the majority of the day until they could get that information fixed. So once they did, then it was opened back up. I know some had mentioned something about or asked, is that why the stock was down today? And no, it's just, the stock market was down overall today. And then, of course, some of the holdings were down more than others. So just look at that. And I don't know, y'all let me know if y'all even like to look at something like this. I know I go over spreadsheet stuff too, but I know I've showed this a few times, but I haven't heard anything. But anyway, if you look here, if you just look at this change, we had some significant decreases on these 13, 12, 10%, right? I mean, there's huge compared to a normal portfolio, right? You would never see any down that much, and we hardly had anything up. So that was the reason for the huge drop today. Of course, we don't know what tomorrow is going to hold, but since we're here, we can just sort of see how everything was up. They were sort of up here, and then as soon as the market hit, a lot of these dropped. Now this one, MicroStrategy, did start going up throughout the day. This Vikings Therapeutics went up. Of course, then we can see here where ULTY was halted for the majority of the day. And it looks like MSOS was up and then just slowly trended down. Coin tried to come back up a little bit. And then we got some green ones down here at the bottom that actually went up throughout the day. But so that's just a brief overview of what happened. And then, of course, we didn't have the trades, we didn't have the holdings, but what I've tried to do, I went back and compared everything and tried to consolidate everything into one so I could give you a big overall picture versus, to get you up to date without me actually having to go back and do multiple review of holdings and trades, right? Which obviously I'm not going to do here. I'll do it in that trade video. But I just wanted to say all that up front, and then I'll have to repeat something similar to that in the next video with actual trades. But these are where we're at for our tickers. in the sector. And then the one change I did get done to this today was Inception Day. I've had all these great ideas and plans for these workbooks, and I did make some of them changes. Of course, now they were a waste of time because we're not holding stocks anymore, but I had gone and made it so we could see if they lost or made money on the stocks. But oh well. But I did put the inception on here. That was one thing I'd been meaning to add in this column right here, is when they were added here. Of course, this one was added back. We know it was here before. And then, of course, I didn't document the initial IV dates when we first started because it was a later thought, and I have just not spending the time to go look up these other ones. But you can see some of these have been here since inception. I did add the net assets total at the top and the outstanding shares, because 47% of the people that voted in the poll said they wanted to see net assets and the trades up front. So with that said, I haven't moved the columns around on this, but let's look at the trades first. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Let's see if I can make some of these just a little bit smaller. We can get those in the picture here. So I am not going to go through each one of these. This is one ETF, so I'm okay with going through the top. Of course, when we're talking about the 19 ETFs under the YieldMax, I don't mind going through and reading each one because we're talking about 19 different ones. But you can see here on the screen, the overall amount. If we look at the top of the short call premium received by ULTY today, they received, well, okay, so this isn't today. This is going to be a combination of the last 2 days, right? Yesterday and today. So 392,000 is short call premium, which is also the total amount of their short call trades. But, okay, so since they were going back to synthetic positions, they had to sell all their stock and then buy back into the synthetic. So that's why you see here they paid out $3 million for synthetics, and then the stock they ended up bringing in $20 million. So that's them, changing all that. So now if you go and look at the holdings, you won't see the stock there anymore. So that just give you a brief thing. So for those of you that just wanted to see that, and you can see the market value by each ETF over here as well. Of course, you saw the net assets of the overall ULTY, but if you wanted to see the market value of each, that's there. And then I had this ranking here before. I had just had it hidden. When you don't have many on there, there's no sense on it. But in this, there's lots of rankings for the day. But it's one of those things too. Well, it just sort of depends on what you were doing for that day. And in this, we were just doing lots of movement. We had our weekly stuff, and then we had the stocks that had to be sold and the synthetics that had to be purchased. So for those of you, the 47% that wanted to see that, there we go. And then we briefly talked about this. Those that haven't seen this in column G, column F is the current IV, and column G is just ranking the IVs, from the largest to the smallest. My cat's just destroyed some things. MSTRs, number 1 at 146%. HUT, Root. I don't have these in order. Yeah, it looks like most of these obviously are going to be Bitcoin related, are going to be on the top. And then we'll look at the bottom. We have, 19 ETFs it looks like. 59% is the lowest IB we have currently, which is ARM. And then we have Wayfair, the VRT, the new one that I already forgot what it was. And the Vikings Therapeutics there. And let's see. Then here, I can zoom in a little bit. Hopefully I wasn't zoomed out too much for those of you on your phone. If you want to look at the changes, and this is what I was talking about a minute ago, right, is, let me zoom back out. How, where we were down, and you saw it over on Moomoo, which is the platform that I prefer to use for trading and investing. But anyway, you can see here that ULTY was down 2.7% today, while the S&P was down. It says 0.72, but most of the day the indexes were over 1.2% down. So I guess it came back up some. But you can see he only had a few green, which we had already saw on the other, which was Giga Cloud Technology, My Medicine, Root, and then VRT was up just a few cents there. But we will move on. So we did all of this. And yep, so unless, somebody says there's something else they want to see in this video, I don't know that I showed other things here. I do not have I guess that's another thought I don't have here. So at the top of here is where I have the short call. If you're looking at all the short call trades up here at the top, we're looking at so far 74 cents. If we're looking just at the premium, we're looking at $1.46. So maybe between the two. Tomorrow, when the YieldMax single stock ETF stuff comes out, and then we can compare all of those distributions to all the different types, all the different ways that I use to do a calculation. We can see which one was more accurate. I'm leaning towards the short call premium just based on what I've heard Jay say, of course. Then we also have some that think, no, it's the net of the short call trades. And then some think it's not, like, no, it's part of the synthetic too. And then, of course, Jay says we can use the IV as the base. So I've just done them all, right? Because I don't want to wait each month and then try to calculate something. I'll just try to use all the different ways of calculations up front, and we see which one's the closest. So once we do that, then maybe it'll give us a better idea for this one. Of course, there's always human factor, and us. We may not have all the trades, we don't have all the data necessarily all the time, or we may not have 100% accurate data. And then, of course, then I can have errors after I pull data down as well. So, yeah, I think that's it for the daily roundup and for ULTY. And then I'll let y'all go so I can do the trades and holdings for ULTY as well. Thank y'all and have a great day. Bye.